Powell admitted the bond math doesn't work. The Fed is choosing inflation over collapse. Bitcoin thrives in this trade-off. The good news? We've engineered an exit door. Think of Bitcoin that way. The building is lit on fire, and we've engineered a way out for everybody. Now, the price, the ticket to get out becomes more expensive with time. When I got into Bitcoin, a ticket out was 50 bucks. Now a ticket out's $110,000. The cost to exit isn't equal, but the opportunity is. All of you can get out. That's what Bitcoin is. It's an engineered exit door, an engineered life raft. How expensive that trip is for you, that's up to you.
Jack Mallers starts by setting the scale. The total size of global money is approximately $500 trillion. Half of all value humanity is created and stored. But here's the problem. Fiat money is no longer a reliable vessel to carry that value forward into the future. Why? Because governments and central banks have broken it. Through inflation, reckless debt creation, and endless money printing, they've robbed individuals of the ability to preserve the value of their labor and innovation.
Please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. You can also check out our other videos on cryptocurrencies and the overall digital asset space and drop your comments and observations in the comments section below. Everything you do helps with the YouTube algorithm and immensely contributes to the channel's growth. Thanks and enjoy the video.
The size of money is about $500 trillion. It's about half of all the things we own today we've monetized because we've just created value and we just want to bring it with us tomorrow. And central banks and governments have robbed us of that ability to do that with fiat because they print it and they debase it. And so we have to look to alternatives to bring the value we've created with us tomorrow. Bitcoin restores that for everyone. So in the future, Bitcoin's price will rise because all wealth looking to be carried forward into the future will be saved in Bitcoin, and it'll bring down the price of all other market goods that have incorrectly been monetized. If you're my age, I would say stop waiting for the Fed to cut rates, stop waiting for mortgage rates to lower, stop waiting for the right president. Stay humble and stack sats is the only way you're going to be able to raise your kid with a yard. Bitcoin is the only solution that doesn't rely on protests, it doesn't rely on politicians, it doesn't rely on changing someone else's mind. Powell admitted the bond math doesn't work. The Fed is choosing inflation over collapse. Bitcoin thrives in this trade-off. The good news? We've engineered an exit door. Think of Bitcoin that way. The building is lit on fire, and we've engineered a way out for everybody. Now, the price, the ticket to get out becomes more expensive with time. When I got into Bitcoin, a ticket out was 50 bucks. Now a ticket out's $110,000. The cost to exit isn't equal, but the opportunity is. All of you can get out. That's what Bitcoin is. It's an engineered exit door, an engineered life raft. How expensive that trip is for you, that's up to you. But make no mistake, the decision was made in broad daylight. The government will be financed at the expense of the people. Assets will soar, Bitcoin the highest. This is the probability of positive Bitcoin returns per holding period. If you hold Bitcoin for one day, you actually have a better chance than not to have a positive return, which is insane. The odds are in your favor just buying Bitcoin today. That's at 53% chance you have a positive return for holding Bitcoin for a day. A week is 55%, a month 57%, but then it starts to get really interesting the longer you hold. If you hold Bitcoin for a quarter, you have a 63% chance of positive return. If you hold it for a full year, 76%. This is crazy. If you hold it for 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years, you effectively have a 100% chance of a positive return. And the point is simple. Stay humble, stack sats, and hold. The future is abundantly clear. Jerome Powell, the federal government, Scott Bessent, Donald Trump, they could not be more clear. The post $71 is over. It's no longer in our benefit. We are changing global capital flows as we know it. The world is going through hyper change. Everything in the data, everything about interest rates, everything coming from the White House is unequivocally true. And just hold, just relax. My dad has come on this show and he said, markets either try and wear you out or scare you out. Don't let it wear you down. Don't let it scare you out. Just relax, hold on. If the Bitcoin price is really doing that much to your mental health, you got too much leverage. I've said a million times, consume only less than you earn. We see more pensions piling into Bitcoin. This is New York State Common Retirement Fund, $200 billion fund. They are embracing Bitcoin. Next, Air Canada's pension fund reveals a $161 million Bitcoin allocation. This is Canada's first large pension fund with a Bitcoin allocation. So it will just keep coming. I expect pensions, endowments, and sovereigns. You're going to lose with bonds and stocks. The 60-40 portfolio is dead. We've said it on the show a million times. We're going to continue to be proven right. I'm very, very, very confident in that. If you want real returns, you have to own something else. That something else is very obviously Bitcoin and gold for now. For me, Bitcoin is obviously going to be the best performing winner. Pensions are rolling into it. We are starting to look like an emerging market. Play emerging market games, win emerging market prizes. When the U.S. runs fiscal dominance, pressures the Fed, and weaponizes the dollar, that's emerging market behavior. And the prize you win is emerging market outcomes. Inflation, capital flight, collapsing bond markets. The only difference this time is the exit valve isn't dollars. It's Bitcoin. Traditionally, in Africa, in Latin America, the exit valve is the US dollar. You get a black market for the US dollar. You see people fleeing the Argentine peso or the Ghanaian cedi or the naira for dollars. This time, it is Americans and those in the West that will be fleeing dollars for Bitcoin. But make no mistake, extremely high murder rates, underfunded and collapsing education, destroyed pensions, massive deficits, and a national military. That is not El Salvador. That is Chicago. And by the way, this is not left-right. This is not blue-red. The last administration was literally censoring our internet speech. We will continue to look more like China and more like Argentina until we get back on a sound money standard. The harder the money, the more society prospers. Unfortunately, places I love the most are going to have to learn that the hard way.
Jack doesn't hold back when it comes to boomers. He doesn't bully them. He tells the truth. They benefited from a broken system, pulled the ladder up behind them, and now expect the younger generation to foot the bill for failed pensions, overpromised Social Security, and an inflated economy. But it's not about blame, it's about solutions. And Bitcoin is the only non-violent, apolitical global solution we have.
The S&P is not performing. It's trending down. Now, the problem is this is also a reflection of tariffs. And so really the point here is this. Somebody has to lose. There is no free lunch. There is no silver bullet. We'll take a look at, here's the United States expenses. And really the problem is, if you look at the green, that's 2025. If you look at the blue, that's 2024. And so our expenses keep growing. You see how every single green bar is higher than the blue bar, except for education. So education got the MAGA, Elon Musk, got the, what was Elon's shit that already failed tremendously. Elon's going to come in. He's going to act like an entrepreneur. He's the greatest entrepreneur ever. He's going to cut. He's going to run this efficiently like a startup, and we're going to fix all the garbage in the U.S. We're going to fix our deficits to the moon. Oh, Doge. Brain fart. I couldn't even remember that nonsensical, stupid shitcoin of a plan. Education's the only department that got that treatment. You can see right over here. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse. The green is substantially lower than the blue. That's what cutting government spending looks like. Okay, let's check every other bar. Labor, no. Defense civil, no. Transportation, nope. Homeland security, nope. Let's go to the bigger ones. Did we lessen our defense budget? Nope. Seems like everyone talks a big game. Let's cut government spending. But when it comes to it, nobody wants to be defenseless in a world where people are going to war all the time. Okay, fair enough. What about health and human services? Did we cut that? Nope. What about Social Security? Here's my problem, and I'm going to talk about the boomers in a bit. People think I bully boomers. I don't bully. I speak truth. It's what this show is about. No ads, no bullshit. It's truth. Oop, no bull crap. Sorry, kids. Kid show. We don't cut anything. And so the point is this. We're still going to run a $2 trillion deficit this year. Your tariff revenue does nothing. Nada. It's trash. It's garbage. It's a distraction. In fact, tariffs are doing what? We know they're impacting jobs, and we know they're impacting stocks. We've talked about it on the show last week. How are they impacting stocks? Guys, if you give a company like Apple, you give a company like Ford, you give a company like Procter & Gamble, you give real businesses multi-billion-dollar hits on an annual basis. That impacts their margins. That impacts their profits. That therefore impacts their stock price. When the dollar was, and currently still is, but is on its way not to be, the world reserve currency. Dollar's the world reserve currency, and don't even, any currency could be the world reserve currency. What that does is it hyper-financializes the market. So the United States hyper-financialized. They exported their factory jobs. They exported their manual labor. They exported their ability to produce stuff. That's now all in China. China took all that. China's the world's factory. And the people that make our iPhones, the people that make our services, the people that make our goods, our tools, this mic, this computer, everything around me, they're in China. Apple produces the iPhone in China. Why? Because the U.S. is hyper-financialized. It's all about your stock price. It's all about increasing margins, increasing profits, stock go up.
Markets will either wear you out or scare you out, but you don't have to fall for it. The future is uncertain, but Bitcoin provides clarity. It gives us a chance to opt out of the madness, secure our savings, and build something that lasts. Stack sats. Stay humble and hold. If you're watching this, you still have a chance to buy a ticket out, but that ticket is getting more expensive every day.